he is the face of the sport when it comes to media presence and marketability. He has the sport in his iron fist, and in that sense, that he can control the narrative, he can control the space, and people are going to tune in no matter what.
Welcome, everyone, to Boxing Scene's Top Stories exclusively on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I am George DeMatteis. Remind me to download the app, or apps are available for the full ProBox TV experience, which includes the world champions. We got Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi joining us here on Top Stories. Now, in an audio interview with Boxing Scene, Canelo Alvarez said that he has learned how to deal with the criticism that comes with his elevated status in boxing. Here's what he told us as he spoke with Lance Pugmire.
No, you need to take all of that and absorb it and let it go. And let it go. I know what I am. I know who I am, and I know what I accomplish. I'm just the best. I know that. So that's the only thing I care about. So I hear everything. I grab it. I take it and then let it go. It's not much to see there.
All right, Paulie, we know that Canelo has come under criticism in the past for choosing to fight Edgar Berlanga, obviously choosing Munguia as well, and then maybe avoiding Benavidez also. Do you think now, with all the criticism and the fact that he has taken this stance, that he is more dug in than ever on the idea that he's going to do whatever he wants because he's Canelo Alvarez?
I think that part has already been obvious, that he's going to do whatever he wants because he's Canelo Alvarez. It's just a matter of, will the sanctioning bodies allow him? Well, you know what? We've gotten our answer. They will allow him to do whatever he wants. So if that's the case, you put a lot of people in a position like this, they will do whatever they want. So I think he's taken the right approach in as far as he's going to just let it go, like he said. You can only take the criticism for so long. You're going to let it burn you up. You're going to let it aggravate you. You're going to let it, irk you. He says he feels he's the best. So, if you don't fight your top contenders, you're going to be criticized. If you're able to let go of that criticism and not let it affect you, well, then you know what? You still are the star. In a lot of ways, although this is a sport and it's about who's the best, it's also about who's the most popular. And we've seen that in combat sports a lot in recent years with the advent of things like social media and whatnot, where the guy who's the most popular is not necessarily the best, but yet you have more political control if you're more popular than even some of the guys who may be better than you or may even be the best. At this point, is Canelo the best? I think most people would say no, but there's been times in his career where he's literally been the best. He's been number one pound for pound. He can still live off that. He can live off that popularity. He'll continue to do that for as long as he wants to, because he's going to remain popular regardless. So, I think he's allowed himself to sort of step out of that criticism zone and focus on what the task in front of him is this week, which is Edgar Berlanga. Also, when you're this popular and when you have fans like Canelo's fans that are loyal to the team, regardless of whether he takes a dump on their front stoop, but instead of getting mad, they'll be amazed at the dump that he just laid on their front stoop. For example, that's the kind of fans this guy has. So, I mean, you can overcome a lot of the negativity that sort of comes critiquing your way for not fighting the top guys, and you can live in a certain level of denial. And I think by him saying he's the best, when right now he's clearly not even the best in his weight class, allows him to live in that denial because of the popularity that he has. So I think he's taking, if you're going to live that way, you got to take that approach. So there's something wrong with in a sporting sense from it, but from a personal sense of it, if he's going to do that, then yes, this is the way he has to approach it, and he's doing it right.
It's kind of like he's saying the quiet part out loud. I've been saying this on past shows. He doesn't care. He's in the driver's seat. He can do whatever he wants.
But champ, does he care? Does he not care? Or does he care? Because here's the thing. He's blocking people's credentials when they criticize him. So to a degree, the guy does care. He shows that.
Listen, and that's kind of what he said in there. He's like, I listen to everything and I let it go. And maybe he's turning over a new leaf. Maybe he's working towards that. He's transitioning towards that. But at the end of the day, he doesn't care. At the end of the day, the decision that he makes is what shows whether he cares or he doesn't. And as long as he's allowed to keep doing it, he will. And I don't really knock him for that. I mean, it's one of those. And listen, am I in that situation? Am I going to take the easier fights for $30 million? That's hard to say. You wouldn't. Especially as you get a little bit older. You know, I think 40-year-old me is thinking, oh, easier fights for $30 million. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, and if you keep winning, you keep getting $30 million fight.
That too. 28-year-old me is probably a little different. Yeah, I want the best guy in my weight class. I want all the smoke. I want all the toughest guys. But you know, he's an old 33 at this point. He's been around the block. I think he's earned a lot of the power that he has. Not only, like as you said, he was pound for pound the best fighter in the world at one time. He took on all comers for a long stretch of his career. Was not unwilling to take on challengers, which we see from time to time, especially recently. And not only that, he is the face of the sport when it comes to media presence and marketability. He has the sport in his iron fist, and in that sense that he can control the narrative, he can control the space, and people are going to tune in no matter what. To your analogy about what he's leaving people on people's doorsteps. Whatever he does is going to get positive attention. And at this point in his career, listen, you know how it is, Paulie. Our minds change as we get older. Our minds change throughout our career. What we're willing to put ourselves through, what we're willing to do changes. It's unfortunate because he has a stranglehold on all of those belts in the weight class. But in terms of everything else he's doing, I'm not knocking him. I like the mindset he has. He's got the mindset that I said that he probably had going, you know, now he's just saying it out loud. He understands his place.
The Chavez route was fight De La Hoya, get beat, and then go on the retirement tour.
I brought that up a million times too. I know.
He's doing the retirement tour without fighting the De La Hoya of his weight class, you know, without taking on the top guy. Chavez fought De La Hoya, said, all right, I got beat. I'll go on my retirement tour, and went on a few retirement-level fights, you know, where he kind of did the tour against mid-level opposition. This guy's doing it without fighting the De La Hoya of his weight class.
And keeping the belts. And keeping the belts. And that's
what I'm saying. Well, but Chavez fought the De La Hoya, so he didn't get to keep the belt while doing the retirement tour.
But also, Paul, they're letting him do it. It's not. You know, he's not going to just give up the belt himself.
Chavez, they would have probably let Chavez do it. Chavez, nobody was more popular than Mexican fighters than Chavez go. But you know what? Chavez still said, I'm not doing the retirement tour unless I go get beat first. If I got the belt, I'm going to keep fighting top guys. If I don't have the belt anymore, I'm allowed the retirement tour. You know what? Let yourself on fire for all I care. Once you don't have the belt, you can do whatever you want. Just if you got the belt, you can't go on retirement tours like this because the sport itself sets a bad precedent when it allows you to.
Yeah, but champ, you know what also is the difference? Canelo at one point became a businessman, and he became a very good businessman.
To all degree, we all have to be that.
Yeah, of course. And so, but I don't know how much Chavez did that. I don't think Chavez ever left being a warrior. Canelo, at a certain point, he became an excellent businessman. He started suing promoters and winning and going off and doing things on his own. We're in the era where Canelo is a very, very smart businessman.
People will always love Chavez more.
Who's got more money?
But if you ain't broke, who cares if the guy's got more money than you?
And I think if going off of the interview there, I think Canelo probably doesn't care, right? He's expressed that he is very, very, very concentrated on who he is and what he wants to do there. By the way, you can check out the full article of the Canelo interview with Lance Pugmire on BoxingScene.com. And I'm, of course, looking forward to that fight coming up in just over a week's time between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. Remember, big fight breakdown of that fight and everything on that card here on Top Stories or here on ProBox TV. Of course, we'll cover it on Top Stories as well. I'd like to remind you to scan that QR code, like and subscribe, drop your comments. I know when we talk about Canelo, we always got some great comments, so drop your comments there. And don't forget to download the app for the best live fight series in all of boxing Wednesday night fights, followed up a couple of days later by Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. George DiMatteo is here for Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
He's the pride of Guadalajara, the Mexican maestro, the unified super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. His challenger, undefeated knockout artist and pride of Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. It's prime time.
Canelo versus Berlanga, plus Lara versus Garcia, Saturday, September 14th, live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.